I saw this story earlier today on The Athletic. It's from Zach Johnson. The headline is, Malik Willis will be the top quarterback in free agency. Will the Browns target him? And the column goes through all of the different options the Cleveland Browns have this offseason to fix their quarterback position. It also lists that there is a chance that Cleveland may stand pat per the article, and maybe they don't do anything. And they go with Shedeur Sanders, they go with Dylan Gabriel, and then whatever they have with Deshaun Watson, and they try and figure out the quarterback position for this upcoming season with those three players. But then what Jackson points out in The Athletic, that if the Browns choose to try a free agency route, the best name that would be on the list would be Malik Willis, a player who's made 6 career starts, who's thrown 155 career passes, and that Willis is only 27. He'll turn 27 in May, and that he is set with the 3 starts they played in Green Bay this past season in for Jordan Love. There's real potential out of the free agency bidding of landing Malik Willis, and that he would be a player that perhaps could change the fortune at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, a team that has been desperate to find a quarterback for years. You know, and we know as sports fans, what's the tweet? What's the social media graphic? It's the guy with the Browns jersey with all of the names on the back of the jersey where it looks like it's a CBS receipt.
Yeah.
Right. When you go to CBS and they print off that extra long receipt that you don't need and you crumple it up and you throw it away right away, that looks like it's attached to the guy's Cleveland Browns jersey with names of quarterbacks from the past that have not worked out. And so they are a team that would possibly be interested in a free agent signing of Malik Willis. What do you think of this story in The Athletic earlier today by Zach Jackson?
It makes absolutely no sense to me. 0 sense to me. Because you already have 3 quarterbacks. And the saying is, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. And right now they have presumably 2 starting quarterbacks on their roster because Dylan Gabriel was just okay. They put in Shedeur Sanders and he started the rest of the season. But you also have Deshaun Watson, who was injured and is starting his rehab. And when he comes back, has a cap hit of over $100 million this year. So you can't do anything with that. The cap is somewhat a myth. But when your dead cap hit is over $100 million, that is not a myth. That is a reality that the Browns cannot deal with this year. You just have to have Deshaun Watson on your roster this year. And if he's there, you at least have to play him and see what he has left in the tank. If he comes out and he plays well, great. If he doesn't, you have Shedeur Sanders there. He played for you, whether it was well or not. He at least played. You drafted 2 quarterbacks last year. You drafted Dylan Gabriel before you drafted Shedeur Sanders. So you spent 2 draft picks already last year on quarterbacks. So now you're going to bring in a 4th quarterback who, if you're spending the kind of money as the only quarterback on the market that Malik Willis is, you're going to automatically slot him ahead of Deshaun Watson and Dylan Gabriel and at least have a competition between him and Deshaun Watson. And if he wins, you're going to have your backup quarterback with a $120 million cap hit just sitting on the bench. I guess that's fine. If you want to win games, you want to win games. Money doesn't matter. I get that. You've got a championship caliber defense because you have Myles Garrett. You've got great defensive players on there. You've drafted really well on defense. That defense is ready to go. Your offense is not. I don't think this makes any sense for the Browns this year. This is a 2027 move for the Browns. If you want to move on from Deshaun Watson next offseason and still have Shedeur Sanders on your roster and Dylan Gabriel, and you bring in Malik Willis to compete with those guys, knowing full well that he's going to win that job, and you're going to have Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders as your backup, that's a better option.
Okay, but to interrupt you, it's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. We're talking about the possibility of the Browns going after Malik Willis in free agency. Yeah, you mentioned that this is not a move for right now. It's a move for 2027. They don't have that time. Malik Willis will sign somewhere this offseason. If it's not with the Browns, maybe it's the Cardinals. Maybe it's the Dolphins. There's a direct connect. The GM of the Dolphins is someone that came from the front office of the Green Bay Packers. Mm-hmm. So seeing Malik Willis travel down the South Beach to be Dolphins quarterback, I could see. I would also argue, I don't know if that's much of an upgrade over Tua Tagovailoa. Like, I understand why the Dolphins want to move on from Tua, and I think it would be good for Tua to have a fresh start somewhere else. But I think when you're comparing Malik Willis and his play, like, what are we really doing here?
Yeah.
You know, like, I get it. In this year's class of free agency, he's the best option. Okay. I mean, he's not going to be a top 20 quarterback. I think you're stretching by thinking he'll be a top 25 quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
This is not Sam Darnold. This is not Darnold who's bouncing around the league, who was a top 5 pick, who you say, okay, I remember what he did. Because, like, even coming into the NFL at Liberty, Malik Willis was questioned in college if being good enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it wasn't as much. It's not. I think people are really stretching, hoping that Malik Willis will be something, and they're shining it up, hoping that he will, because he's the only quarterback that's going to be available through free agency. So I think for Cleveland, yes, with their collection of items that they have at quarterback, I stopped myself. I didn't say garbage. You thought I was going to say garbage. Items.
It was the tone. It was the tone.
Well, I don't think any of them are really good.
Your garbage tone.
I don't think Shedeur. I don't think Gabriel. I don't think Watson. I don't think any of them are very good.
Yeah, but
so for the Browns, Malik Willis may be an upgrade.
Yeah,
he might be. But outside of that, if you're Arizona or if you're Miami, you can do better.
Well, of course you can. That's why, to me, he's a Jet. Like, this screams Jets.
I mean, the Jets, if the Jets were smart, they would do what we were suggesting yesterday, and we were talking about yesterday with the article that we saw on ESPN.com, suggesting that they trade for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you could.
That would make a lot of sense for the Jets.
Absolutely, because all of it, if it's only going to cost you a 4th-round pick because of his contract, and you have to take on that kind of money, and you think that you've got the support staff to not necessarily revamp his career, because he's decent, he's good, but just he needs a change of scenery, and you've got a good defense. You've got a defense that's already set up. The Cardinals didn't have a defense. So if you can prop him up with a good defense, if you think you've got a good offensive line that you can help him out there, then absolutely. I think that he can play really well. But if you can't facilitate that trade because the Cardinals are asking for too much, or you don't want to give up the draft capital, all you have to do is give Malik Willis money. That's the only thing it's going to cost you. It's not going to cost you draft capital. And if you also are in the mindset of, well, we have the 2nd overall pick this year. We don't really want to be that good this year, though. We want to be in a quarterback class for next year. And maybe that's what the Browns are thinking too. The Browns are thinking, we've got this good defense. We're set up to have a good defense for the next few years. Maybe we don't want to be that good. Maybe we're in a mindset of these teams that are saying we're still setting ourselves up for the 2027 draft, where the quarterback class is going to be the march for Arch, and everybody's trying to set themselves up for Arch Manning and trying to get this desirable quarterback where there's only one in this draft in Fernando Mendoza, and then the bottom falls out on quarterbacks, and we're talking about day 3 and day 4 picks for quarterbacks.
So we're talking about Malik Willis. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. Is there a team we're missing? This is Ryan Clark on Inside the NFL suggesting that the Steelers should go after Malik Willis.
I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to move on from Aaron Rodgers and acquire Malik Willis. He's shown us now in Green Bay under Matt LaFleur, his passing has now ascended, right? He's pushing the football down the field outside of the numbers. The athleticism since coming out of Liberty has always been there. Under Matt LaFleur and the way that he was utilized, he thrived as the starting quarterback. You don't have to go pay Malik Willis $60 million. Now, will it be a deal that's maybe over what Sam Darnold made? Maybe. But I feel like that's where you can start working with Malik Willis. And now under Mike McCarthy, you're not just piecemealing, right, or putting a Band-Aid on the quarterback position. You're getting possibly your quarterback of the next decade.
So that's Ryan Clark on Inside the NFL suggesting that the Steelers don't wait around for Aaron Rodgers. Go get Malik Willis. Fix your quarterback position for the future, because I don't think it's a debate. I don't think anyone will argue Malik Willis is better than Aaron Rodgers for one season. Rodgers is the better player. He should go back to the Steelers for one more season.
Mm-hmm.
But long term, Malik Willis would make more sense because he's a younger player. He's going to be 27 next season.
Yeah.
Aaron's probably only going to play one more year if he plays.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if he would get out of his ayahuasca hole and allow the Steelers to move on with their offseason.
Has he seen his shadow yet?
I don't know. He pops up every offseason. He's in the ayahuasca cave. He comes out, and if he sees his shadow, he goes back into the cave for 6 more weeks of drugs and hallucinates. and then if not, he becomes quarterback for a team.
Yeah.
And so if he could tell the Steelers now, if he's planning on playing this year, then they can assess and go in the right direction. I think the Steelers want Rodgers. But if he tells them he's not playing, and that this takes place after free agency takes place, the Steelers are going to be high and dry.
Well, there's 2 reasons I like Malik Willis to the Steelers, and it has to do with Aaron Rodgers, and it has to do with Mike McCarthy, because it eliminates the Aaron Rodgers problem. Like you said, you can wash your hands of the Aaron Rodgers issue. You don't have to do this dance next year. What are we going to do at quarterback? You don't have to rush a development of whoever you draft this year in the later rounds, because the Steelers need to draft someone. And you can do that this year if you're Mike McCarthy. And so if you sign Malik Willis, that's a 2 to 3 year solution. If you sign Malik Willis this year and you draft a quarterback in the 3rd round or 2nd round, if you want to, that's, let's say it's Ty Simpson, or if it's Carson Beck, whoever it is, Mike McCarthy has developed 2 quarterbacks that we know into very good, Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott, into good quarterbacks, into great quarterbacks. And so I'm not saying that Carson Beck or Ty Simpson are going to turn into those guys, but it at least gives Mike McCarthy 2 years of those guys to sit and watch and learn from Mike McCarthy. They can learn whatever they can from Malik Willis and turn into something, and give them time to sit, watch, develop, as opposed to Aaron Rodgers, who we know is not going to teach anybody anything, and we know is going to leave after a year, or you're at least going to have to sit through this dance again another year, and is going to, I don't know if I want to play. I got to see what the earth tells me. I got to see what the trees tells me. I got to see what the ayahuasca tells me. If it's purple, then I want to. Then I'm not going to play. If it's yellow and if it's gold and black, then I'm going to play.
I'm 40. At this age, I don't like being hungover, right? So like being sick and drinking to the point where I don't feel well is something I despise at this age. When I was younger, in my 20s, it was something I thrived, right? Like a good hangover, you could get to work, like, okay, fine, you get through it, right?
Yeah.
It was no problem. At this point in my life, I hate it. To participate in something where like the objective of taking ayahuasca is to feel at your physical worst. Isn't that what it happens?
That's the result.
Yes, it comes out both ends.
That's not the objective.
Okay, you free your mind.
That's the objective
I'm seeing things
of a cleanse, of a juice cleanse.
I'm just telling you, all the documentaries I've ever seen about ayahuasca, it's like that does not look like a fun time.
We can both admit I've done more experimenting than you have when it comes to this world.
Well, yeah, you've done hard drugs.
Well, hard is a tough word, bro. Like, let's not say like mushrooms are not hard drugs, okay?
I've taken like 3 edibles in my life.
Yeah, like come on, man. Like my parents listen to this sometimes.
Oh, they're not listening.
We're on around the country now.
They don't care.
This is not cool.
They don't care.
Hard drugs. What is wrong with you? Hard drugs.
Yeah, that did sound like a narc.
Yeah, man.
That was a little narky.
You are a hole monitor, come on.
That did
hard
sound
drugs.
Well, you've done mushrooms. You've done things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, would that be considered hard drugs?
I have never in
Tripping
my life
on shrooms?
Ever had the desire to ever try that. Ayahuasca. expand my mind. No, thank you.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. One person who doesn't do drugs, the other has done hard drugs.
No, don't put that into a promo.
That's going to be the promo.
No,
Raj
that's
is
not a
gonna-
promo.
He's
That's
going to
not a
cut that promo.
I do not sign off on that.